This press conference call to address the issue of negative mailing was sent out by an employee or what seems to be an employee of Channel 2, Ms. Kristy Mazuerk, who is the host of Two Sides that comes on every Sunday at 12 noon. We're asking Channel 2 to find out what the policy is regarding their employee or their alleged employees, what the policy is regarding political campaigns. As you know, Ms. Mazuerk, Kristy Mazuerk, purchased a permit from the post office, number 1278, that has been identified as the post mailer that sent negative mailing to legislator Hogues and myself. Vicious, slanderous mailings. We want to know what is Channel 2 policy regarding those mailings. I have a letter here that maybe Mr. Hogues can read to you.
So basically, our letter says, Dear President, General Manager, Erie County Legislator Tim Hogues and Betty Jean Grant are concerned that an employee of your news station may be involved in a conflict of interest situation. Ms. Kristy Mazuerk, the host of Channel 2's political news show Two Sides that comes on Sunday at noon, has been identified as the purchaser of United States postal permit that was used to send out negative campaign literature targeting legislators Timothy Hogues and Betty Jean Grant. The United States postal number was 1278. Was also used to send out glowing positive information about the campaign of Ms. Barbara Miller Williams, the opponent who is challenging legislator Hogues for the 1st legislative district seat. We believe that a voter has a right to support whomever he or she wishes. We do not believe that a political host who interviews both those they support and those they oppose should be openly campaigning for one candidate over another on their televised show, especially when they are assumed to be representing the station they are employed. Ms. Mazuerk also attended a televised press conference a few weeks ago attacking mayoral candidate Bernie Tolbert. This hastily put together press conference called by University District Council member Bonnie Russell was recently held in Niagara Square. On the Two Sides show a few days later, this writer was a guest on the show. Ms. Mazuerk, by her own disclaimer and admission, admitted that she was a paid political consultant for Mayor Byron Brown. As duly elected officials currently holding the only 2 legislative seats fully contained in the city of Buffalo, and as candidates for a re-election who might have the opportunity to advertise on our campaigns on WGRZ TV, we need to know that WGRZ TV has a policy or policies that will assure us that partisan politics will not enter the picture. Since neither Legislator Hogues nor Legislator Betty Jean Grant have received an apology or even an explanation from Ms. Kristy Mazuerk regarding these vicious, slanderous political literature mailed to over 80,000 households in each of our districts, we are seeking answers and apologies through this correspondence to the manager of WGRZ. And so basically what we're saying, we believe that the job of news reporters are to report the news, are to be unbiased, and to present it, not be slanting the opinions of people. And so Betty Jean Grant and myself, we're just asking, does Channel 2 have policies in place? And if so, what are those policies? Because we really like to see it, because we believe there may be a violation of those policies.
And also I want to say too, since Ms. Mazuerk has a vested interest in my race, on my on campaign petitions, that signature was signed for the making the ballot for the September primary. Ms. Mazuerk is one of the committee on vacancy. She is one of 3 people that will be able to choose the successor in case Ms. Nixon, if she wins, is not able to serve. So she has a vested interest in the race of the 2nd District legislative seat. And for her to be the recipient of that, as well as the purchase of those negative emails, that 1278, I think is a definite conflict of interest, not only to my campaign, but also to Channel 2.
So basically, we thank everybody for coming out here, showing their support. Obviously, it's a real issue here. Once again, Legislator Chairwoman Grant and myself, we have been fully supportive of making sure that we restore the funding to Buffalo, to the residents, and making sure we represent them. All of our mailings have been accurate, have been truthful, and we take credit for our mailings. And so there's return postage on our mailings, and you know who sent it out. And so we're just asking once again for Channel 2 to explain to us what is their policy, if they have any.
Another thing I want to say, too, of those mailings, there's no identifying marker who paid for those mailings, no return address. And when I checked the Board of Elections website, my opponent has not even filed a declaration that she's a candidate in this race. So officially, she's not a candidate because she has not filed that with the New York State Board of Election. She has not filed that she's a candidate for this election. She has not filed a campaign statement, financial disclosure form that was due July 15th, August the 6th, and August 26th. That's 3 filing she has failed to file in addition to declaring herself a candidate. If you're not a candidate, you cannot raise money, you cannot hold fundraiser, you cannot send out mailings. So my opponent's in 3 violation, and Mrs. Mazuerk, being a committee on vacancy of that campaign, should take responsibility for that.